So this one's about, I've been watching this Supreme Court case where they're still arguing over the definition of what a woman is, which is just amazing because they're trying to make, like, from what I can tell from my whole like youth growing up, people have been manipulating the affirmative action laws, which originally were there to address one particular problem, right? They were really kind of there for really, so they went really aggressive because there was one particular problem that they were kind of designed for. But then they became weaponized after that, and now they applied them to all these other to all these other areas where that doesn't really make sense. And then women's rights, as far as I can tell, kind of paralleled that, to some, the affirmative action to some degree, but there's differences because women and men are physically different. It's not like it's just a melanin thing, so it's not like it's not like a race. So it kind of makes sense that you would have laws based on physical differences that are biological. That's not exactly the same. You can't really apply the same concepts conceptually through to like racial laws or something like that, right? It doesn't seem like you can make universal principles exactly the same way. So that means that the laws based on women's rights have to be grounded in the definition of what a woman is. And of course, we have destroyed the definitions. That's what the deconstructivists do. But from a law standpoint, I can't believe a lawyer at this day and age would go to the Supreme Court or a professional and not be expected to ask the question, like, what is a woman? Like as if that's not going to come up. Like, who prepped you for this at this day? I mean, anyway, that's my basic thing. This Supreme Court case where they're still arguing over the definition of a woman is wild. I mean, how are you a lawyer or a professional of any kind in medicine or whatever explaining law in this day and age, and you don't think anyone's going to ask, hey, a quick question, what is a woman? Man, I didn't see that one coming. That one came out of left field. Where did they come up with these cross-examinations, man? Lawyer tricks, I tell you. That's like being a chef and panicking when someone asks you what food is. What is food? I mean, I'd like to know that the thing you're putting into the pan actually qualifies as something that could be consumed without dying or something. Particularly when the biggest documentary in history released a few years back was titled, What is Food? Right? If you're a chef and like 2 years ago, someone released the documentary, What is Food? And it was this huge question, you would think you'd be ready for that one as a chef if you're gonna make laws about food or something, right? I mean, so we've got anti-discrimination laws, affirmative action type stuff designed to protect women. That's the idea, which I assume you support. The people that are talking, I assume they would support the women's right under the affirmative action. Therefore, let us begin with the one definition you absolutely need before you open your big Harvard mouth to start talking about, and that would be, what is a woman? The most obvious question in the last, 2 years, it seems like, and they're like, gee, I never thought about that. I didn't see that one coming. Dude, how? You wrote a 40-page brief about gender but forgot to define gender. I mean, that's like... It's like they want rules based on sex while having sex based on vibes. Vibes which are most likely driven by the desire to get around the rules based on sex, right? Let me repeat this again. This is what the laws are based on, okay? They want laws that are based on sex so they can protect women while having sex based on vibes, which means they're kind of fluid. Vibes which are mostly driven by the desire to get around the rules that are based on sex. Do you see there's a circular problem? There's a circular problem. I mean, I feel like we should see this at this point in time. This is going to the Supreme Court No one, and they still don't. Honestly, I miss simpler times. Back when you can call someone, and by the way, there's going to be some swearing in this, so bear with me. But if you can want to back out of it now, back back when we could call someone a son of a bitch, and everyone immediately knew which parent we were being insulted. Honestly, now the whole room breaks into a TED talk. You call someone a son of a bitch, and they're like, okay, but which parent currently identifies as the bitch? And we're talking biological bitch, or are we talking social constructed bitch? And is this a chosen bitchhood or bitch adjacent? And it's like, what is happening? What is happening here? And someone in the corner is like, maybe by son of a bitch, he means she's literally like a sun, like a cosmic star burst from the she-wolf nebula. And it's like, dude, no, son of a bitch doesn't mean like a star, a sun. We all agree, like we all knew what we were talking about like 5 minutes ago. We're at the point where being called a son of a bitch is actually a compliment. It's like, yeah, that's right. I'm a son of a bitch. I'm proud, old-fashioned, dictionary approved son of a bitch. We used to call that normal. I don't mean to offend, but it's a little weird to be the son of two bitches. That's a little odd. Or the son of a space witch bitch gaggle. That's a little odd. Or worst of all, a bitchless son. How could you be a bitchless son? That's weird. It's like, what? You're a bitchless son. Are you claiming to be more miraculous than like Jesus now at this point? He even had a mom, for crying out loud. I mean, come on. Your head is getting bigger. It's so big you might as well be Candace Owens at this place. Starting to prove. How do you know what the definition of a woman is? Well, I saw it in my dream. And I was like, okay,